So hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new here, and if you're my returning subscriber, hey, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys who are always coming and watching my videos because I think YouTube is not pushing out my content. And I also think like if you don't watch my content like maybe 2-3 times in a row, then YouTube stops sending the videos to you. So yeah, but we're going to keep on grinding, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my 10 non-negotiables for my 50-year-old skin. I'm wearing makeup today, but I know for sure I still have good skin underneath all the makeup. Yes, and I'm looking here because I have my notes here. Number one, not using a face cloth to wash my face. I know a lot of experts, I know a lot of people say don't use, just use your hands, don't use anything on your face because it's going to ruin your skin. You know, I think that goes for people who have really sensitive skin. But I am 50 years old now, almost 51 in April. I have been doing this since I was a little kid, since I was young. You know, since, I think when we're babies in Uganda or in Africa, when they are cleaning our body, you should see how they scrub us like it's the end of the world, you know. So I've always been using some kind of a towel, some kind of a cloth on my face, and I have tried to just use my fingers, and I always feel like I don't get clean. So I always use a cloth on my face, and especially like sometimes I get oily here. And I know if I've tried to use my fingers and then I've used the towel afterwards, I could see there is that. Guys, how does your face get clean just using your hands? And I also think like, especially if you're wearing makeup, for me, I cannot see how you can clean your face clean without using some kind of a cloth to clean all the junk away. So for me, my non-negotiable, I always have a cloth. If I'm going traveling, if I'm going anywhere, a cloth for washing my face is like my cup of tea. I have to have it. I cannot live without it. I have to use it. I don't know, like if I forget it, I have to figure out something. You know, if I'm going traveling and I've forgotten at home, I need to figure something else. And next to that is something to scrub my body. It's long time since I've done a body scrub, you know, like with a cream or something. And I think I want to do that. But I think I want to do a DIY where I maybe use some sugar and some oil and do my own mix, because I haven't found anything I like. And I think if I find anything I like, it's going to be very expensive. But the body scrub, again, like I said, when we were small kids, guys, let me know if you are in the comments, if you're from Africa. Let me say Africa is a continent, but let's say Uganda, East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania. How were you washed? How did you, when you're having a bath, how did your parents bath you? You know, did they have this thing they were scrubbing your skin? Yeah, they did that, and still were babies, and we grew up with it, and I have grown up with it. And I know a lot of some people in my life, like I think I've introduced this to my kids, also to my husband. He never used to do that, you know. And I think a lot of Caucasian people, they are not used to this kind of thing. They are not born with it, you know. So, but we were born with it. We were raised. Our parents raised us. Our mothers, especially, raised us scrubbing us, you know, all the time, and our skin is still fine. So me, I have a scrub, and I have an old one I got from Uganda. I should have bought a lot of them, and I think next time I go to Uganda, I'm going to really buy a lot of them, because this one is getting old and I have to like disinfect it, you know, all the time. So I need a new one, but it works, you know. I scrub my body. I cannot live without it. Also, if we're going traveling, I have to pack it. And if I forget it, at least I just get a small towel and I use that. But still, that I never feel like I'm getting clean. But also, I think because I moisturize my body, you know, with creams, so I need to clean that off. And I think if people are not doing that, but still, our skin is always reproducing itself, you know. So you have skin that is supposed to be getting off. So in order to get, I think, good skin, you have to like scrub your body and get rid of that. So body scrub, I cannot live without that. And in Uganda, we used to actually get them for free in the village. I think last time I was on a safari tour, I saw these plants, and they said these food for elephants. But I think it was from that plant they used to make these body scrubs. Yeah, and if you're in Uganda, you're gonna find a lot of them. And next to that was I'm gonna say my non-negotiable, not using a thick cream. Yes, me, I cannot use these body lotions. I don't feel like it does anything for me. I'm used to thick cream. Again, like since we were little girls, we were using this petroleum jelly, the Vaseline, you know, thick creams. They were always using on us. And I have grown up, and that's what I love. Is it has some disadvantages, because if you put on a cream like that and then sometimes you put on your outfit, you know, the cream, the oil might touch on your outfit. It happens a lot with me. But what I do, maybe I do it early and let it like dry before I put on my outfit. But yes, I love oil. I love a thick butter, shea butter. I use shea butter. I do my own mix and I put in some oils, and that's what I love. And I still use I still use a lotion, some kind of a lotion, because I think the oil itself is not enough. The same thing like putting just oil on your hair, it's not moisturizing. So I use the butter, and then I use my Clarins lotion. So I do, sometimes I mix it and it's mixed, but sometimes I just sit and mix it. It takes time, but that's what I do. I just mix it in my hands and warm it, and then I like put it on my skin, and then I have skin. I think we're number 5, not hydrating from each side. I think everybody and their mom and their grandma have had that, like drink water, drink water, drink water. But I don't like drinking water, okay? So I find a way to hydrate my body, and I always think like I don't drink enough water, but I do, because I drink it like tea. And like I said, if you've been here a long time, my tea is not like tea as you know it. I just put in the tea leaf, the tea bag, just to give it a little bit of color. So it's not like, because if you drink a lot of tea, you're going to lose water, because it's going to make you like pee a lot maybe, and then you lose some good water. Yeah, so I just dip it in few seconds, and I put in ginger. That's what makes me want to drink my water, my tea, the ginger I put in. So the main ingredient in my tea is ginger and a little bit of tea, and I drink that. I drink a lot of tea, but also have started taking a little bit of saft. I don't know what that's called in English, and I just mix that a little bit in. It's so thin, you know, like it just gives a little bit of taste, but it's so thin, like it's not going to affect me like too much sugar or anything, because I make it so thin. I put so little, and then I put in a lot of water. Like I think my glass has maybe like 600 milliliter, and then I just put in like so little of this. It's not juice. And then to sweeten it up a little bit so I can drink that. If I drink 2 of those and then I drink my tea throughout the day, I think my tea has like maybe 500 milliliter. So I hydrate from inside. I make sure I'm drinking. I'm not good at drinking, but I know how to drink. I don't like drinking cold water, but drinking warm water in the form of kind of a tea, that helps me to stay hydrated. So I don't think you're going to have like, I will also say, like, some of us, maybe we are blessed with good skin, but I do work hard to have good skin. I do. It's not like I use creams and everything. So hydrating from inside, you know, and you have had that many times. Number 6, never going to bed with makeup. I remember in my younger days, my 30s, my 40s, you know, no matter how I came home, if I was drunk, even if I was drunk and crawling, I remember to go in the sink and remove my makeup. And if it was impossible for me to do that, if I was so extremely tired, at least I had some serviettes, you know, then I could just take most of the junk off, because I also know what it does to my bed sheets and my pillows if I don't clean my face. So I never go to bed with makeup. I cannot remember when I've ever gone to bed with my makeup. It's been very few times. No, I don't think I've ever done that. I mean, the few times I have not like washed, then I have used some serviettes to clean, you know, like those face wet serviettes. But I never go to bed with my makeup. I hope nobody does that. Unless you're working in a place where you're wearing makeup and then it's nighttime and you know, like if I go somewhere to a party or something and I put on my makeup, maybe it's at 6 o'clock and I've gone to a party and the party goes on until 2, then I've had my makeup all night, but I still wash it before I lay down to sleep. And another thing is not moisturizing. If you've been here, you know I say moisturize, 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 and moisturize your skin, guys. And it doesn't have to be expensive products, you know. It has nothing sometimes to do with the products. Of course, there's some products that work better than others, but it's consistent. Just like everything else, you have to be consistent with the product you're using. Don't use a product like for 4 weeks and you're like, oh, it's not working, and drop it. Even two months. So sometimes you won't even see change. You see change later. So it's better to stay consistent with the products you're using. I have been using Clarins since my babies were not yet even born, but that's all the products I use, and I've been consistent with them. And if I ever reach a point I can't afford them, those products, I'll use other products, but then I'll have to be consistent with them, you know. A lot of people, they use products and then they just stop. Oh, it's not working. I just bought this a toner. It's some kind of a toner, and I have been using it, you know. I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to see any change, but I just bought a bottle and then I've been using it and using it and using it. Let me get it, guys. So guys, I have been using this Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA liquid exfoliant with salicylic acid. This is a very, very, very popular product, and I know this has made a change in my skin because I've been using it. I've been using it consistently. I don't use it every day, but you don't have to use it every day either. So I have been using it consistently, but I got something else together. When I got this, I also got the 1% retinol treatment because, yeah, I'm aging and I think I have good skin, but I think my skin needs sometimes a little bit of boost. I have never done any Botox, you know, any stuff like that. And I remember an ex-friend of mine was saying, yeah, Amelie, collagen. I had not even known anything about collagen. Saying, I think you drink collagen. You know, people are always accusing you, like people have become... I think our world has reached a place where people don't believe like people can have good skin without doing Botox or doing all kind of things, or people cannot have a nice behind without people accusing you of having a BBL and stuff like that. So, but I have been using this, and this is working, and I'm going to repurchase. But I bought the retinol, and I've used it. It's finished, but I wasn't consistent with it. So I cannot say like it's worked for me, but I think the product works. Yes, the product works, but I have not used it consistently. So I think that's the problem. People buy products and like, oh, it did not work, but did you use it consistently as they had said, you know? So I'm going to repurchase this, and I'm going to try to be consistent with it, because I think the best thing any woman can do for their skin, I think, is using some kind of retinol, you know. We can use all these moisturizers and everything, but I think retinol they've done a lot of research on retinol compared to other beauty products, you know. So what I'm trying to say, you have to be consistent with the products you're using. You cannot just use it 3 weeks, even 2 months, and say it's not working. So anyway, I think we went from moisturizing. You need to do your moisturizing, and you have to be consistent with it. Don't change products. Keep on using the same product a whole year. And if you don't see the change, then the product is not working. All right? And consuming sugar, guys. Yeah. Consuming sugar, I think most people know that is not good for the skin. I cannot say so much about it, but I personally, it's not something I do. Sometimes I eat fruits also because I'm 50 now, menopause, and you know, eating a lot of sugar doesn't work out good for nobody. And even fruits, I'm eating less fruits. I'm very, very strategic with the fruits I'm eating. I'm eating berries, you know, blueberries and stuff like that. Once in a while I might eat some strawberries. Once in a while I might eat papaya, but I'm not, and I eat half a banana for my pre-workout, but I'm not eating fruits like I used to, because my body is not going to accept them the way it used to accept them when I was young. I'm just going to, the fruit sugar is also going to become fat, you know. So I don't eat a lot of sugar. And in European people, I don't know European people, is it Caucasian people? But a lot of European people, they eat a lot of candy. People do eat a lot of candy. Before I came to Denmark, I had never seen a lot of shops actually, I had never seen a place where you have a shop that's selling only candy. Have you been to Sweden? If you're in Sweden, guys, comment. In Sweden, they have big, huge shops just selling candy, guys. So people here eat a lot of candy. You see, for me, I don't know, like it's kind of even a turn off when I see a grown-up man with a big bowl of candy, like, no way. So eating sugar, I don't do that. I stay away from sugar as much as I can. I do eat chocolate once in a while. You know, I love chocolate. If I buy those bars of chocolate, I can't even keep it for the next day. I eat all of it at once. So that's why I don't buy those kind of things to have it in the house. But sometimes I'm like, I want a chocolate, yeah, and I want a chocolate, and I want to have it with a nice warm cup of tea, and I do eat that. But I also always tell Jan, if you buy it, you know, I'm going to eat it, and just buy one, because I'll eat that and I'll feel guilty, and then I'll move on with my life, okay? So, and another thing is not using sun protection. My friends, even if you're dark skin, I think if you're in Africa somewhere, our skin was used to the sun. We never got wrinkles like that because of the sun. But when you move to Europe, especially in the in the Nordics, you know, because I'm inside almost half a year and my body is not getting any sun, my skin start getting light, you know. I have lost my real color. I used to be darker than it, but staying inside, I'm not getting the sun. My skin turns color and I become light. And my skin also becomes, maybe, I wouldn't say softer, but it becomes so sensitive to sun, you know, compared to in Uganda. I'll be walking every day. I was outside and my skin was used to the sun. But now I'm inside for half a year, and then the sun comes. And the Danish sun, when it comes so strong. And you as a dark skinned person, you just go out there, think like, oh, I'm black, I don't need sun protection. And the sun goes on your skin, guys. When I go there, sometimes when the sun really comes out, I can see it here on my skin, like I get some small wrinkles, you know. So I use sun protection, and I know sometimes people look at me weird, like when you're vacation, Jan and I'm putting on my sun protection. I can see people looking at me. I think people are like, do you need that? But yes, I need that. My face, I need to protect my face, you know. And like I said, I was in Uganda, I never needed that. In fact, when I got to Uganda, after a few days, you know, my skin becomes so nice. And I feel like the sun in Uganda is different from the sun in Denmark. The sun in Denmark always feels like the sun is so close to you, you know, like somebody's having some kind of a fire on your skin. It's more hotter. I don't know like why it's that. It feels like the sun is more close to you than back in Uganda. The sun in Uganda doesn't burn me the same way the sun burns me in Denmark. So I protect my skin. And if you are living in Europe, you know, you should consider that. Find yourself a good sun protection, and find yourself a good sun protection that don't give you that white cast, because as dark skinned people, we have a tendency, like some of the sun protection, they give you that white cast. I found mine. I love my Clarins. I'm going to continue using that until I can't afford it, then I'll find something else. Yeah. Another thing is not eating colorful foods, because eating colorful foods, most of these colorful foods, they have antioxidants in them, you know. So I always try, like, mostly it's my salads. When I'm making my salads, I think eating just green salad is boring, you know. So I always try to put in colorful things, and of course being careful that I don't put in things that are going to spike my blood sugar. So like blueberries, I cut some carrots, I put in there. I put this granite apple, I think it's called, I put in there. You know, I want to see color and all these things. And I also noticed, you know, when I'm eating well, when I'm really focusing on eating well, my nails, they start growing. My nails, they become stronger. My skin starts glowing. Right now, I feel like my skin is glowing because I've been so focusing on eating my salads. Every day I make a lunch. Every day I make a big bowl of salad for my lunch, and from that I can put on some kind of a protein, some kind of a chicken, fish, or whatever meat I have, and I put in some beans. But every day I'm making a big bowl of good salad filled with all the good nutrients to feed my skin from the inside out. I can put on all these products I have, but if I don't do anything from the inside out, you know, nothing is going to happen. My skin is going to be still bad. Yeah, one other thing I didn't say is having a toner, because I don't want to talk about what I use, but also like having a toner. Every time I finish washing my face here in Denmark, the water is so hard. So for me, I can never just wash my face and go straight on my face with with the moisturizer. I always use a toner because I feel like the toner, I use a moisturizing toner, I feel like it brings back life to my skin. With the soap I've been using and the water, it's kind of, my face feels tight, so using a toner always brings back life into my skin, and I always use a serum. So those are the things I have to use on my skin. Those are part of my moisturizing routine. So a good sleep, for example, good sleep. But you know, I'm a morning person, so I cannot say good sleep has anything to do with my skin, because I wake up early in the morning. It's not something I want, but my body has always been like that. I wake up early in the morning. But for some people, having a good sleep, the only time I can see that I have not had a good sleep, then I get dark circles around my eyes, or if I've not been having a good sleep. So these are my non-negotiables, guys. So leave in the comments what yours are for your good skin, if you also have good skin. If I've forgotten anything in my video, leave it in the comments. What are your non-negotiables, guys? What are your non-negotiables? These are mine. So thank you for watching, guys, and I really hope to see you in another video, right? Thank you.